In a matter of days, the biggest rail event in Britain's history will commence: the Greatest Gathering. So let's dive into what makes this event so special and why it will go down in the history books of the railways. This year, 2025, marks the 200th of Britain's railways, and there are many more celebrations past just TGG. That's the shortened version of the Greatest Gathering, which I will use throughout this video. According to the official Railway 200 website, there will be 353 activities and events, most of which will be in Britain, but we will also see ones on the Isle of Man, Northern Ireland, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Austria, Hungary, Spain, Philippines, and New Zealand. So you can very much see this event, while mainly in Britain, is going worldwide too, with several other countries having events celebrating Railway 200. I saw some banners at Paddington on my way home from a day out in London filming videos. TGG's website states the following: this 3-day festival will feature more than 100 iconic vehicles from the past, present and future of the railways, and marks the first time in almost 50 years that the train factory, Derby Litchurch Lane Works, has been open to the general public. TGG will be held in just a matter of days, being on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of August 2025, and for anyone still wanting tickets, they sadly sold out a few months ago, and will run from 10 AM to 4 PM according to the website. Each day will see a max of 10,000 people, but probably a little less. Also available on the website is a map of TGG's site and a map with guidance on how to get from Derby Station to the site entrance. It also seems that there will be volunteers and signage to help people too. And another useful resource the site provides is a guide on how to get to TGG. The by train section starting the walk between Derby railway station and TGG's site entrance is approximately 15 minutes. They expect very busy and crowded trains, plus stating that limited services will run before 10 AM on the 3rd of August, which is the last day of the event. It is recommended to allow plenty of time to travel from your local station to Derby Station on the National Rail network. There may even be queuing systems at certain stations, but there is no list provided, and it's always important to respect staff and other passengers while travelling. Bus services from around Derby are also listed, but I'm not nearly qualified enough to talk about this, so I'll recommend just pausing the video to have a look. On the topic of buses, so-called vintage shuttle bus services will be operating between Derby Station and the nearest bus stop to the event, which is 150 metres away from the site entrance. 7 AM to 11 AM outwards, and 3 PM to 5 PM return. Another vintage shuttle bus service will operate between Cathedral Road, which is in the city centre, and the nearest bus stop to the event, same ones the other vintage bus services are stopping at. This service will run at the same times as the previous, 7 AM to 11 AM outwards, and 3 PM to 5 PM return. These vintage shuttle bus services will be free of charge to TGG ticket holders. The last way listed here is to get to TGG by road. The city of Derby is accessible via the A38, A52 and A50, which connect with direct links to the M1, M42 and M6, but there is no parking available on site. All blue badge parking spaces are fully booked. For those unaware, that is parking reserved for people with disabilities, a bit like disabled seats on trains but for cars. And the guide is finished off by some important reminders. We recommend ticket holders to travel by public transport to the Greatest Gathering where possible. Bicycle parking is available on request at the main entrance and are left at the owner's risk. Traffic restrictions are in place for this event, and there is no access for vehicles onto Litchurch Lane, including for drop-off and pick-up. Personally, I'm going up by train on August 2nd, staying at a hotel near Derby from August 2nd to August 3rd, and then going to TGG on August 3rd. And I hope to see some of you there. But if you can't decide what clothes to wear to the event, they have merch for just £3.95 Great British pounds. This fridge magnet could be entirely yours. Because of course, everyone needs the Greatest Gathering fridge magnet. Another thing? Maybe try a beanie, or another fridge magnet, or a polo shirt, or a literal teddy bear. Yes, you heard me right. A literal The Greatest Gathering branded teddy bear. Another resource provided is 2 live streams of cameras overviewing the track at and around Derby railway station, provided by Railcam UK, who claim to be the UK's leading provider of live, lineside and scenic railway cameras, live signalling diagrams, schedules and user-sourced allocated information, and have been operating since 2009. In summary, they provide hundreds of live streams from areas overlooking railway lines, with a few of them being free but mostly paid. While the Derby cameras fall under their supporter subscription, they've provided it free on their YouTube for the time of TGG. It would be fun if I go there IRL and look at myself on the live stream from there. But with all that said, some things still may be a little unclear. So let's have a look at some of the FAQ questions that haven't already been answered in this video. Will Alston make profits from ticket sales? Short answer, yes. It will fund the event as additional security, cleaning and conveniences, as well as materials to ensure visitors have a memorable and engaging experience will be needed. Will Alston display products from other companies? Short answer, yes, as they want the event to showcase the full breadth of contributions made by organisations and individuals in helping shape our railway. Can visitors see behind the scenes of Derby Litchurch Lane works? Short answer, yes, and there will be many exhibits hosted throughout the depot. Furthermore, their 1.6 km or 1 mile test track will be offering rides throughout the time of the event. Before we get on to the trains coming to the event, let's have a look at some notable exhibits. There'll be 11 other exhibits at the Greatest Gathering, including ones like a ground level model railway, the Class 66 Railway 200 Inspiration Train, and most exciting of all, Dovetail Games, also known as DTG. As you may know, DTG are the developers of Train Sim World, a realistic train simulator which I personally own and play a lot. Maybe a bit too much, I should go outside. But they will be here at TGG. 2 consoles will be available to play TSW5 on, but proper train enthusiasts will also be able to play using a converted professional train driver training simulator with a Class 700 style control desk and real train controls. Safe to say I'm excited for this exhibit a lot. Now I'm going over trains I'm excited to see, as there are over 100 trains which would take way too long to list, but if you really want to see a train not listed here, it's worth just checking the website. The LNER Class A4 Flying Scotsman and the Locomotion No. 1, as it was the first ever steam passenger train. Those are my steam picks, but I'll have a lot more for the diesel and electric section. I'm not really a steam fan personally. There's a Class 43 that seems to have Railway 200 branding on it, and a GWR Class 43 too. There will be several 37s, which will be nice to see, and an EMT branded 43 too. The Class 70 will be cool to see, even though I've seen it many times IRL, and this Class 69 British Transport Police train looks very cool. There's a Class 89 going. I'd never heard of this train, and when I asked some friends, they said the same. But hey, it looks kinda cool. A bit like if an HST was flattened. Class 91 Flying Scotsman would be nice to see, especially considering I saw it a while back in late 2024 at London King's Cross. There's another 91 with a Battle of Britain Memorial flight livery. I had no idea that train even existed before, just like the Class 89. But hey, at least it looks really cool. And finally, for the electric locomotives, there will be a 93, which are the new freight trains which have just arrived to the UK recently. Now into the multiple units is where I can really tick off some major train bucket list items. Class 323 Power Car, Class 423, Class 507, Class 142, the infamous Pacer, Class 323, Class 465 Network Southeast livery, Class 390 Pendolino Progress livery, Class 197 TFW, still cool to see even though I've been on them IRL a few times, Class 313, Class 331, Class 398, Class 730, which I've been in the cab of Euston at, just the West Midlands Railway variant.
Wow, this is amazing.
Class 755, and Class 387 Great Northern, and most importantly, my childhood train, the Class 455. This one being 455868 is a heritage livery which I've only seen from Clapham sidings before. There's also carriages and wagons, and narrow gauge and miniature, but personally my interests aren't really in that stuff. So with all the important information covered, the Greatest Gathering looks to be, forgive me for this, the Greatest Gathering.
Should I subscribe?
I, as for one, can't wait to go in just a few days with many trains which I've never seen before, but have been on my got-to-see/ride bucket list for a long time. So this has been GlobeSync, thank you for watching, and goodbye.